Hi folks. Today what I thought I might do is share some advice with you about the Road King and little tricks that I learned in the past couple of years as a rider. These are things that I wish that I had seen on a video or heard from somebody at some point. Little things that I learned along the way, usually the hard way. So hopefully this advice, these little tips might come in useful for you. One of the things that makes riding a Road King or any kind of a touring bike great is the fact that you can stretch out and relax on a long trip. I had regular highway pegs on my crash bars for a long while, and I noticed that on long trips it felt like my foot was continually threatening to slide off. So what I ended up getting was a heel rester for the highway pegs, and it really saves a lot of effort of trying to keep your feet on there. You just totally relax, and it's much more comfortable. I got these from Kuryakyn, but also Harley makes them, and I imagine any other number of manufacturers makes them too. One of the aspects of the Road King that I find very important to maintain is the air pressure in the shocks in the back. The way to do this is I just purchased one of these from Harley. It's a pressure gauge reader for the shocks specifically, and the way it works is you attach it to the housing here, and it tells you what the pressure is, and then you can pump it up. So I'll show you how to access that in case you haven't yet. First you take the saddlebag off. Next, you remove the cap, just like on a tire. Then, you attach, and it tells you what the pressure is, and as you might be able to see here, my pressure is pretty good. If you happen to have a garage like I do, then you're probably going to want to be able to get into that garage without having to stop and get off your bike. Of course, everyone has garage door openers pretty much, and so what I do is I keep mine in the leather bag that's on my windshield, and what I do is I fasten it using the clip on the back that you would use for the sun visor. I put that right on the edge of the outside of the bag, having the garage door opener on the inside of the bag, and I memorize where the button is so that I always hit the right one, because I have two doors and sometimes I hit the wrong one by accident. Also, I keep a steady supply of earplugs in the bag, and that's because the wind gets pretty loud out there, as well as the other cars, not to mention the fact that I have slightly loud pipes, the Reinhardts, and so after a long trip you definitely want to have some ear protection. As well as this, I have an extra set of goggles that I use for night driving. As you can see, they're clear, and these are a must-have because you never know when you're going to be out after dark. So you should always have an extra pair of goggles. Actually, I have another pair in my saddlebags too, just in case. Notice here that the turn signals are extra lit up. This is a special kit that you can buy from Harley, and it makes it so that your turn signals actually act as running lights as well as brake lights. Let me demonstrate. If you've ridden for any length of time, you'll notice that every once in a while you look down at your pipes and you'll notice that some rubber is there, or some gunk or whatever has gotten onto the pipe, and boy is it a bitch to clean. A lot of people have come up with different solutions. I've heard of using Easy Off oven cleaner. I've heard of people using melted sugar, all kinds of things. What I found works best, and this is of course just my opinion, but simple chrome polish seems to do the trick for me. You could put some elbow grease into it, of course, and that's where it's always good to have extra rags around, such as my old University of Hawaii t-shirt. Comes in great for doing bike detailing. Also, to get the tires clean, What I like to use for the white walls on the Road King is the Wesley's Bleach White, and the way you have to do it, of course, is to make sure that you spray it on while the tire is dry and let it sit for a while, and then you have to get a scrub brush, or not a scrub brush, a sponge with a scrubby back on it, not too coarse, and put a little bit elbow grease into there too, and you'll get those white walls nice and white again. To get the spokes nice and clean, what I recommend is using a chrome wheel cleaner like this. I found that this works wonderful. Just spray it on and rinse it off and you're set. Of course, it's always nice to do a second wash of them with the chrome polish again. For paint, I highly recommend ice. Hate to say it, but I'm an ice addict. I love this stuff. It's an all-in-one cleaner. You rub it on, you wipe it off, and it's no fuss, no muss. The bike looks great afterwards. Something else too for the front forks. I don't have the chrome front end kit, so I have to get this Mother's Power Metal aluminum polish. Works wonders on the aluminum, and I highly recommend that as well. One of the problems with the setup for exhaust pipes that I got is the Reinhardt pipes, and as you can see here, hopefully the color will come through in the video. They tend to change color over time. That is the end caps. I mean, they originally were black, as dark as that, and they've slowly changed color due to the heat to a kind of a purplish thing, I guess. And eventually I imagine that they're just going to turn into some crappy aluminum color. To buy replacement caps, I'm not sure for the black ones, but I know that if I wanted to get chrome end caps, they're $99 a piece. So it's a pretty penny. But in terms of the sound, love them. And as for the rest of the pipe, you can see here, it's got no bluing on it as far as I can tell. The heat shield looks great. The header is fine. So I'm not regretting the Reinhardts, except for the fact that that is discoloring. Oh well.
Woof.